Being ready to go live. Just be a minute. Yep, go yours. I feel like I'm powering every week. And we're all set.
We're good. All right.
Thank you.
Morning, everybody. We'll call the Board of Directors meeting for the County of Chautauqua Industrial Development Agency to order for September 23rd, 10:30 a.m. We're at the Center for Innovation and Economic Development in Dunkirk, as well as electronic via live stream on YouTube and Zoom. I'm no Gary Henry, but I'll do my best. We'll start with the roll call. Dan Heitzreiter is here. Megan Sheffield Smith.
Here.
Amy Harding.
Here.
Sean Healy. Here. Kevin Muldowney.
Here.
And Ted White.
Here.
Very good. Just jump right into new business. Next on the agenda.
Approval of
Start
minutes.
with, I'm sorry, I did skip the minutes. So we have in the packet the minutes from August 26, 2025, as well as September 11th, 2025. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
Kevin?
Second.
Ted? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, Carrie. Now we'll jump into new business. 1A SL Dunkirk LLC presented by Rosie and Millen.
Thank you. So this is going to be a refresher for some and brand new for some of the other board members. We received an application in April of 2021 from Solar Liberty for SL Dunkirk LLC, which was a 5 megawatt AC solar farm on approximately 19 acres located in the town of Dunkirk at 10653 Brigham Road, with a total project cost of just over 6.5 million. In late 2021, the project kind of went silent with Solar Liberty. Early 2025, Catalyze, which we've done quite a few projects with them now, has purchased the project from Solar Liberty. I do have Matt Effler with Catalyze here on Zoom. I will pass it on to him to provide any updates on the project, but Catalyze, in place of Solar Liberty, is asking for a 25-year pilot on the increased assessment, which is a deviation from our UTEP policy. Sales tax abatement, no mortgage recording taxes being requested on this project. The pilot will produce payments to the affected taxing jurisdiction over the life of the project in the amount of $560,530, with a tax exemption of just over 1.3 million and sales tax abatement in the amount of 350,000. We did hold a public hearing for this project in August of this year. There was no public comment, no written comment received. So the resolutions today are for seeker, deviation, and final approval. But before I give that to Ellen to talk about, Matt, could you provide updates since Catalyze has taken over the project?
Yeah, sure. And thank you for having me at the meeting today. We purchased these projects a few months ago through, I think you knew HEP Global and Solar Liberty. We will be contracting with Solar Liberty to end up building the projects for us, but we will be the long-term owner. The site plan and system size has not really changed, maybe a little bit with the modules changing over the years, but it's still a 5 megawatt AC project. It's going on the Chautauqua County Agriculture and Fair Association property, which prior to this project has been a tax exempt from property tax. So the additional pilot costs and revenue from that is kind of a bonus, as they weren't paying taxes on the property before. And I think we submitted a site plan, but it's pretty centered on their parcel. And we did have to, as part of the SUP through the town, combine two parcels that they had. They used to have a small parcel, I think, in the top left corner of the site plan, and we combined it to make one parcel. But again, both parcels were tax exempt prior.
Thank you, Matt. Does any of the board members have a question for Matt before I pass it on to Millen?
I just have a question. Maybe it's for Millen more than anything. I know that we had sent out or had a conversation with Catalyze about paying their fees, their past fees for all the work that we've done on the various projects. And I am wondering, number one, have they paid those fees? Maybe we could talk about that, what they've communicated to us about that. First, and I might have a follow-up question.
The answer is yes. A few weeks ago, we said we would expect payment on all of the SL/Catalyze matters, both the legal fees and the IDA's administrative fees. I got an email last night saying that they objected to doing that. So that's sort of up in the air. I will note that your form of application has been changed so that your approving resolutions are good for 1 year. After that, it's what your application says is that is expected that they would pay some or all of the legal fees and administrative fees. So I think then, obviously, with the exception of one today, are over a year old.
I might want to suggest, and it's up to the board, of course, that we, bake into this approval, if we do approve it, that we don't close on this or any other catalyzed projects until they pay those past fees.
That certainly seems fair to me. And I'll take that with Matt and Brandon.
So just a question on that. I know we have closed a number with you guys, right? From the Sherman to Fredonia's to Dunkirk 1 and 2. And legal and IDA fees have always been paid at closing once the closing signature packages have been delivered, right? We then pay it, we sign it, and we close. I do know some of these, especially like these, as you said, started in 2021 or even 2020. I know we are working on Portland 1 and 2. And I know there's an issue with some of the tax ID numbers, but those are pretty close to closing. We just got the Jamestown 1 and 2 signature packages and the invoices, I think, last night. Hoping to close those this month. So with Jamestown 1 and 2 closing, hopefully Portland's closing, in my mind, next month, if we can get through the tax ID mistake that I put on the applications. And then we're looking at just this Dunkirk and then Asheville 1 and 2, right? Which typically, as I said, we have been paying these at closing, and I don't think, besides that these projects started years ago, there's nothing past due in our minds, but we don't have any of the invoices, but typically, again, I don't see the issue with paying at closing, but to close or to pay prior seems not how we've done anything in the past with you guys or any other idea.
I think, Matt, that the concern is that it's been several years for a number of fees, and there are substantial administrative time and legal fees. And the fear would be that, some close and some don't close. So I think the suggestion is that you guys come current on all of them at the next closing.
Well, I think the next closing is hopefully Jamestown in this next week.
That'd be fine.
Well, but a week, and you're saying invoices for the last couple of years, which we've never seen any of those costs, right? But to come current on those in a week sounds a little unrealistic to me. While we have been trying to get these Jamestown signature packages for a while, in my opinion.
Do we have an idea what the fees are that have accrued off the top of our head?
I'd have to ask Shelby.
Yeah, Shelby.
I think for the IDA, it's for both the IDA and between the 7 matters, right? It's 2 for Asheville, 2 for Portland, 2 for Jamestown, 1 for Dunkirk. I'm certain it's a 6-digit number.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, we feel like we're being strung out and expending all this time and effort. And, We don't know. It's been years. So at some point, we got to sort of say, okay, fish or cut bait here.
No, I understand, and again, as I said, right, we only bought these a few months ago. I think our track record with you guys on as soon as we bought Sherman's, as soon as we bought Fredonia, we closed on those. Jamestown has taken a lot longer than I was hoping for, and ideally, if we can we can figure out the tax on Portland, tax ID numbers on Portland, we're ready to close that one, which would close 4 of the open 7, I would say, pretty quickly. And Asheville, the only issue there is the town won't support it because we've been trying for 5 months to sign an HCA with them, and I don't want to throw them under the bus, but their legal counsel has been a lot slower than we would hope for. And that one is also, I think, already through the board resolution process and public hearing, where as soon as we get the town, I think those are ready to execute, hopefully rinse and repeat our previous agreements with you guys, and sign that as soon as we can as well. But again, I'm stuck with the town of Harmony approving it, right?
With that project, I just.
Start over.
In reference to SL Asheville, the town is in support of that project. John Brown, town supervisor, was just in my office last week.
Okay.
You're right that their council has been a bit slow. She's had some personal stuff going on, but I know they're eager just as much as you are to get the host community agreement finalized. It's just a matter of the town attorney getting caught back up.
Understood. I mean, I'm happy to show you emails from.
Oh, no, I've been in community.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, ideally, I mean, if they're supportive now, besides for executing the HCA, I'm not sure there's much stopping us from executing with you guys, right?
My suggestion, instead of negotiating this here and now, my suggestion would be for the board to act on SL Dunkirk, however they see fit, and give Mark the authority to negotiate or settle this matter, in whatever way he deems appropriate, rather than, negotiate this sort of live right here and now.
Agreed.
Get the fees all.
Sorry?
I can get all the fees.
Okay.
Yep, we'll put those together. We'll look at it. We'll come up with a strategy and we'll talk to you, Matt.
Yeah, that works. And as I said, I mean, in my mind, we're hopefully closing all 7 matters in the next 2 to 3 months if we get through some of the HCAs, and hopefully we put them all behind us, right? Is my goal.
Thanks, Matt, and everyone. So we'll.
Okay, so if that's the case, the first thing is the deviation hearing. So I'm going to open up the deviation hearing. Notice of this hearing has been given to each of the affected tax jurisdictions by letter dated September 2nd. We've not received any response from any of the affected tax jurisdictions. As Rosie pointed out, it's a 25-year proposed pilot at $3,500 per megawatt, increasing by 2% per year, which is sort of what you've done for a number of other solar projects. So are there any members or any representatives from any of the affected tax jurisdictions who would like to speak? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. So as Rosie pointed out, there's 3 resolutions. The deviation resolution approving the deviation that I just described and we just had the public hearing for. The second is the secret resolution. The town of Dunkirk also did secret when they approved the project. They did not name the IDA as an involved agency because of the size of this project. It is a type 1 action, which means that's sort of the highest level of environmental review. The town issued what they call a neg dec, a negative declaration, meaning there's no significant adverse effects on the environment. In your resolution, we've listed the 13 or so documents that we and staff have looked at. I take back 12. And if you look, we go on for several pages as to what the impact would be on water, land, disadvantaged communities, et cetera, and have come to the same conclusion or recommend that you come to the same conclusion that the town did, that this project will not have a significant adverse effect on the environment. The third resolution, and Mr. Vice Chair, I'm suggesting maybe you take them all at the same time, is the approving resolution, which approves, doesn't require us to close, but approves this matter and gives authority to the staff to actually sign documents and close. as Rosie pointed out, is sales tax in the amount of up to $350,000, and the pilot, the value of which is estimated at $1,361,288. That's it.
Very good. Just to clarify, are we looking to potentially amend the resolution, or we're saying if the board is good to just, instruct the CEO and staff to negotiate and execute operationally as they see fit?
The latter would be my suggestion. So it's a clean resolution when it goes, it'll be in the books clean. But since Mark is in charge of actually doing the closing, it'll be up to him as to what fees, if any, or, how he negotiates this issue. But we wanted to make sure that, the members are aware that this is an issue that, needs to get addressed one way or another.
All right.
Thanks for the comment. Catalyze has been good as far as their other projects that they have with us currently, so. Say that.
Thanks, Kayla. All right. Sagan, would you move new business 1E, please?
Absolutely. Resolution 09232501, deviation approval. Resolution 09232502, secret approval. And resolution 09232503, approving resolution.
We have a second. Thanks, John. Any comments, discussion, questions? All right. Call the roll. Sagan, Sheffield Smith. Amy Harding.
Aye.
John Healy. Aye. Kevin Muldowney.
Aye.
Ted Whiteman.
Aye.
And Dan Heitzenreiter votes aye. Resolution is approved. Thank you very much, Matt, and Rosie, Millen, Mark, Kayla. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we'll be in touch.
Thank you, everyone, for your time, and we'll be in touch. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. There's no other new business. We'll move to the executive director's CEO report.
I just have really two things. Probably all heard about the Serta Simmons closing. They announced it in early September. They're in town of Elkett in our industrial park. We helped them 20 years ago with a pilot to build the facility. Very disappointing. It really is a result of sort of their corporate consolidation. They've closed 6 or 7 plants across the country. They're consolidating. They're taking, I think they put it sort of like maximizing their assets. And so we were a casualty of that. 83 employees. The date of the layoffs is going to be early December. The wage range is between $19 and $32 per hour. Two things. They've listed the building. They have CBRE as their listing agent. Rose and I have been involved in conversations with Serta Simmons about the facility. We've had several calls from various people, local manufacturers that are interested in the facility. So we're, keeping our fingers crossed, and we're optimistic that that building will get purchased, and we'll be right there to assist them. There also is a job fair that the Department of Labor is holding on Friday, the 10th of October, between 10 and 1. And there's at least a dozen companies that have signed up that are very interested in those employees. And we've received several calls as well from local manufacturers that are looking for people that have open jobs that are interested in those employees. So we'll stay on top of it, and hopefully it comes to a good conclusion. I don't know if you wanted to add anything, PJ.
Yeah, first of all, even going on the record, a lot of concern, a lot of comments saying where was the county, where was the IDA in this closure? I think what people have to realize, Rosie's done a remarkable job trying to reach out when she took over the account, if you will, from Carol. And this is a decision that was made at the corporate level. And unfortunately, just like this and other closures we're hearing, these decisions are made not in concert with the county saying, hey, how can you help us? It's, we're making a decision. And then at the end of the day, the concern from the community is, why aren't you there to help? Well, unfortunately, the best we can do now is pick up pieces and help. I spoke to our recruiter today. The county's meeting with CERTA and their employees for opportunities here with the county. But for clarification, the IDA works at best when you know what's happening. If you're kept in the dark at the 11th hour and they make this announcement, what's the IDA supposed to do other than react? So the efforts were there to reach out. I just want to make, that perfectly clear, for those here and obviously the media. We're reaching out. If the company doesn't reach out and return phone calls, aside from going there, banging on the door, asking to speak to somebody, this is how unfortunately, corporate business goes. And sometimes we are, more just a victim of a larger, situation. It's very concerning. We lost 83 jobs without a doubt. But the sad part of this is at no time did they say, hey, we need help with something. Can you talk to us about? No, it's the decision was made. We're walking. And, it's just unfortunate for all of us, actually.
Any other questions? The other thing is Nate and I and Josiah went to Detroit last week for the International Economic Development Council meeting. We were invited by the Ralph Wilson Foundation to go. We went. We had a really exclusive, incredible dinner with the Ralph Wilson Foundation, including their president, Dave Engler. And they had really good things to say about the Partnership for Economic Growth and continued support. And we're kind of their poster child. So it felt pretty good. It was good to hang out with Josiah and Nate as well. So that was really a positive thing. I'm sure there's a bunch of other stuff, but that's all I have for now, unless anybody has any questions.
Thanks, Mark. We'll move into the treasurer's report.
So since Miss Shelby is laid up in traction, well, now she's in surgery right now.
Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, I don't know if she broke her ankle.
Oh, so
Scattered her ankle. Already had one operation where she's in that contraption, that metal contraption that holds it in place. And she has another operation this morning. She's in it right now to do some more stuff. And so she's laid up. We wish her the best. But I just wanted to give you all a little background on that.
She joked that if she was feeling squirrely, she'd join in via Zoom, but then she's not like, oh.
Mark, is it true that she was doing an MMA contest?
No, she said there was a mountain lion that was attacking boys.
I've heard that one too.
And yeah, she protected them and threw it off the cliff, but it ended up going over herself.
Oh, okay.
It's the story, she's sticking to it.
Yeah.
Or my meeting goes over a cliff.
Yeah.
So we went through these already, and there's very, very little to know. But she did want me to discuss the salary allocation was not done for August. And you'll see that reflected in the excess revenue over expense for the IDA. She did not get to that specific journal entry, but Rich often did it quarterly. So she will true it up for the third quarter so that September reads true when we do our board meeting next month. And that's the only thing of note on the P&L. On the balance sheet, oh, sorry, these kind of printed funny. The only thing to point out for the balance sheet is that we have a healthy available cash, even when offset by the deferred revenue. There's no issues or anything to disclose here. And then the budget, the next page, the only line I can note is the professional fees being over budget. That's not uncommon when it's the annual budget. Sometimes there are unforeseen costs that come up throughout the year and we can't budget for everything. So. So that was the only thing that we wanted to mention there, but again, we can't foresee it. Doing the budget. That's it. Does anybody?
Questions, comments? Entertain a motion to approve the finance report.
So moved.
Sagan, second. Evan? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Carried. Great. Do we need an executive session to review loan portfolio?
Yeah, what's the verbiage?
Yeah.
Discussing credit or financial
Yep.
history of particular people, and in particular, some of your loan recipients and their specific credit and financial position.
So I would entertain the motion for executive session to discuss financial credit history, particular person or corporation. In particular, the status of our loan portfolio, financial and credit status of some of our borrowers. Do I hear such a motion?
Yep.
Ed, thanks.
Thanks,
John, thanks. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, moving to executive session.
Hold that and, yeah, sure. And then it's. Well, yeah, for that. Oh, okay.
How's up there, too?
No, I thought I saw something was canceled.
Oh, okay.
I purchased it, I thought I saw that.
You're all set, Dave.
All right, we are back in open session. I'd like to report there were no actions or votes taken during the executive session and therefore no minutes of meeting were taken. Is there any old business to come before the board? No old business. Would just like to send our best wishes to Shelby. So we'll get that on the record formally. And with that, our next IDA board meeting is scheduled for October 28th at 10:30 at the WB building in Jamestown. And I would entertain a motion. Yes.
Just real quick, for those interested, tomorrow night is the county's budget presentation. All those interested, it'll be worth your while. 6:30 in the Legislative Chamber.
The county executive.
Thank you.
Anything else? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion. Appreciate everybody coming to the city of Dunkirk.
Kevin, a second or
Second.
second vote? Thanks, Amy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, we're adjourned.
That's pretty good, an hour.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Here, Ned.
Well, there was some pretty substantive.
Yes.
All right, Rose.
Yeah, if you don't mind. It just makes it easier for me to get the property back up on